All right, guys, welcome back. So we're looking at HIMS and HERS. So this stock closed on Friday at around 64. So I'm pretty sure many people may be super bullish, and sure, fair enough. It is about at that stage where maybe it's a breakout area, maybe it's going to be chopping, maybe it's going to go down. So three scenarios. So I'm going to look at this just particular last month alone. And by last month, I mean OPEX to OPEX. So this is OPEX to OPEX price action, meaning from the May option expiration to June option expiration, this stock has done absolutely nothing. So one way of looking at it like this, were essentially each candle showing you OPEX to OPEX. So, and if you're new to here, I mean, to this channel at all, I mean, if you have watched it already, I may have talked about this one many times. So the point of watching any stock, literally indices, anything, from OPEX to OPEX is when stock is bullish from the beginning of the option expiration, it will remain for the most part bullish up until the end of that option expiration, which is monthly option expiration. Okay, so, and you can see even on these candles, so there are times it does chop, it does absolutely nothing, stays in the range, and these times are essentially when implied volatility is already high. Stock has gone up pretty crazy. On a previous OPEX to OPEX, you can see this candle where we had from $25 level, it pushed all the way to 65 in one, essentially OPEX to OPEX. And then the following months, you can see it did give you a range, but it didn't give you, I mean, if you are somebody who was trading options, you would have, unless you were day trading or unless you had super outside of the, I mean, more time in your hands with your expiration, you would have lost money most likely, because this is the expiration. This is where it closed at 64 something, 64.50, and today we closed at 64.22. So this is the definition of a IV crush. So I don't know if I talked about this one, but anytime I say IV crush, this is the time where I want to show you guys here. So on this chart, okay, this is HIMS chart right here, upper end. The lower end is the implied volatility. So the average true range, another way of saying it. So whenever you see average true range go crazy high like this is what happens. Pretty much stock will trade in the range and it will crush the calls and it will crush the puts, and price itself, delta, will not move crazy. So now, after this option expiration, well, is it free to move now one way or another? Possible. And I'm watching two levels here. So to the upside, yeah, I was watching on a daily close more of this 64.50. Let's see what it does in the following week. And I'm going to be watching 68, essentially 69. So 69 over 69, I would be considering it as a breakout. And sure, just like everyone else, probably have like triple digit. A lot of people expecting the stock might squeeze in the next like 3 to 6 months, possibly. But I'm going to be waiting for their earnings in August if this stock doesn't get going, or unless there's some sort of other catalyst for the stock that would get dropped, where it would break out with the news and with an option activity. So for me to go bullish on a breakout, I would like to see some sort of a catalyst or just a breakout, but with options. Okay. Today, stock was near that level, but I didn't see much of like long dated or even short dated with urgency call buying, like one strike getting attacked. So today into the close, somewhere around like midday, $58 puts were coming in for July 10th. That was it. I mean, something that stood out in terms of like my filters filtered in a way where I want to see orders that were getting executed at mostly at the asking price and just pretty much disabling all the spreads. I'm sure the volume of the stock itself was significantly higher, but I believe for me, I mean, there's not much was happening. Essentially, people were just selling calls and puts in terms of like option market. On the other hand, I want to go a little bit lower time frames where you guys remember was it the Eli Lilly headlines, or what was the headline somewhere right here when this stock essentially went up all the way to 67 in a single trading session, and it gave it all back same day and closed negative. And ever since, I was just paying attention every morning, and it was pretty much every pop was getting sold. Every pop was getting sold. Every time it was trying to pop and it was getting sold, but it was kind of like grinded its way higher back to this level now. So I want to see how it reacts at that level of 67.50, 68.50, maybe like to be safe like 70. And then if it just breaks out, go back up, come back, test that level of a breakout level on a daily, of course, chart. And then from there, I would be watching potentially, maybe 80, 90, 95, 100. This stock is not too, it's a mid cap, $14 billion. Year to date alone, this stock is already up 165%. So it's definitely outperforming many stocks out there already. So, but this was pretty sketchy. This round trip pump and dump in the beginning of the year, and we called out about this one. And now when you see stock essentially go right back into this range again, well, there should be some sellers that were trapped into that in that price range right there. So it has to clear all those people who want to get out in order to push higher if it wants to push higher. But to the downside, I would be careful if this stock doesn't break out, but if it just starts going lower, the support area I have somewhere around 52, but I would like to watch 50-day moving average. I'm essentially moving averages as a support or resistance levels, especially when stock is in an uptrend. So this is the case for HIMS. But first, 5-day moving average, 20-day moving average. Stock is above it, 5-day uptrending, 20-day probably curling. So far, it does have a bullish momentum, but again, we're right next to these supplies. Another thing, last thing I want to share is I believe there are people essentially taking profits on these moves, and profit taking was happening at these levels. Again, somewhere around May, where we had this huge move up, like number 12 came in, number 9, number 6, and I think this is just the distribution. Again, today, what happened? Today, I think into the close, number 5 largest order came in, another like 218 million was dumped. So if this stock trades above those levels, sure, I will be watching it to the upside. But I'm not as excited as everybody else because I'm not seeing like this price action getting confirmed by option traders where you would see people come in, just attack certain prices. So window of weakness is here now in terms of like overall market possibly pulling back and pretty much risk on names as well getting pulled back. So this is pretty much another risk on name. So I would keep an eye on IWM, Russell 2000. So if IWM has a little bit more gas in the tank, if it tries to push higher from these levels, sure, I would be watching small caps and mid caps like HIMS to the upside, maybe up until next option expiration, or maybe even into the earnings season, which is about to get, going. We still have like actually 3 more weeks. But the big thing is just quarterly option expiration now, so which is essentially 1.5 weeks or so. So that's what I'm watching for HIMS, and I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish. Watching both ways. Now I think after this option expiration, now it can move. It can move pretty decent up or down. So that's what I'm watching essentially. So volatility pick up a little bit maybe. So, but again, you can do another month of choppiness. Sure, why not? That's on the cards as well. I mean, this is possible as well, probable as well. But I'm watching this name. It's on my watch list. So if it gets above these levels, it gets interesting. So that's the update for HIMS and HERS. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe. And these videos are not a buy or sell recommendation. This is purely for entertainment purposes only.